Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. A local volunteer rather upset with people dumping their garbage along the riversides. Another Ukrainian refugee making Chilliwack his home. While Party in the Park is not going to happen in Chilliwack this year, it will happen in Agassiz. Mr. Chilliwack himself, Harold Zinke, celebrating 23 years with the Downtown BIA. And Chilliwack FC has a new technical director. Josh will have more in sports. Our special guest this week includes Matt Paisley for this month's edition of The Welcome Matt, your Chilliwack real estate update. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started with our Zacharias Vickers LLP top news stories this week. In our top story, as the freshet is rising, so is the amount of garbage that's being dumped along the riversides, and Bar is a prime example. Ross Aikenhead has volunteered his time to continually do a cleanup in that area, among others. He's very active with the Fraser Valley Illegal Dumping Alliance, and as well part of the biannual river cleanups for the Vedder, the Chilliwack, and the Fraser River. Aikenhead is also with the Fraser Valley Salmon Society. His concern is that the city really doesn't have the jurisdiction to hand out fines for dumping or for vehicles trying to cross the river and disturbing fish habitat. He is frustrated with the slow response from DFO, from the province, and from the federal government. After recent social media postings and a few rants, he will have an upcoming summit in June with both local MLAs to discuss the problems. Chilliwack welcomed a new residence. Andy Savin could not return to his family home in the Ukraine, and now making a new home here thanks to Bradley Jeanette and family. Bradley created a group called Chilliwack Emergency Host Families, and Andy is one of a number of people now resettling in Chilliwack due to the efforts of this group. And this past week, Chilliwack Kent MLA Kelly Patton saluted Bradley and his work during a speech in the BC legislature in Victoria. The annual AGM for the Lower Mainland Local Government Association took place last weekend in Vancouver. Abbotsford Councillor Patricia Ross was named the new president. Harrison Councillor Mickey Vidal was named second vice president. The hot topic for this year's general meeting was transportation. Now, for Abbotsford, the November floods were a good example of how a major city like Abbotsford could easily be isolated during a natural disaster. And for Harrison, there's only the one major route in and out of that resort town. And coming up after the break, Harold Zinke's 23rd anniversary with the Downtown BIA. Last month, chillTV told you that the Fortin's Classic Car Show would return to the streets of Chilliwack on Sunday, June the 26th. But the Downtown BIA had yet to make plans for the return of Party in the Park. While the downtown construction of 1881, and among other things, is happening, the June Friday night Party in the Park events won't happen this year. But there will be Saturday night concerts at Central Community Park every week through August. So that'll be every Saturday night. More details are coming. Speaking of Party in the Park, Agassiz will have one of its own, actually this Saturday, as a fundraiser for the new Aquatic Center, and that'll be all day this Saturday at Centennial Park in Agassiz. Last year, the SPCA put out the concern about bird feeders and that they should be taken down for a couple of weeks due to the salmonella outbreak. Well, a similar situation is happening, but this time it's avian flu, and again, as a precaution, and for the time being, the British Columbia SPCA is asking that you take down and clean out your bird feeders. Follow the SPCA on their social media for updates. Back in mid-April, longtime politician and sport enthusiast Dick Harrington passed away from cancer, and the family announced this week that a celebration of life with a potluck will be held outdoors, typical for Dick, at Gwyn Vaughan Park. That'll be July the 29th from 4 to 7, and it is open to everyone. Cultus Lake Day is back. The community event will be held at Cultus Lake Park's main beach. It'll feature live music, local breweries, and kids attractions. That'll be all day on Saturday, June the 25th. You can kick off the day with a pancake breakfast by donation hosted by the Cultus Lake Volunteer Fire Department. You'll have front row seats to the community parade as it makes its way through the residential areas, and all the vendors will be there. And, of course, knock on wood, hopefully the weather holds up. And kudos on an anniversary to the unofficial mayor of Chilliwack. Happy 23rd work anniversary to the one and only Harold Zinke. We just know him as Harold. The man is a dynamo, always smiling while cleaning the streets of the city and always being a wealth of information and joy, and without a doubt, the biggest fan of the Chilliwack Chiefs. After the break, the Welcome Mat, your Chilliwack real estate update with Matt Paisley, followed by Josh in this week's sports.
It's May 2022, and while most casual observers of real estate are watching the variation between listing prices in the market, I'm going to share with you the most important numbers to keep your eyes on as the local market readjusts. In March, there were 510 newly listed properties to sell throughout the month. At the end of the month, there was 515 total listings still available. When this happens and total listings available closely matches the new listings in the month, it indicates that the inventory is turning over and the market is attempting to balance. When you compare this to last year, the number of new listings far exceeded the listings available at the end of the month. Supply did not meet demand, resulting in high prices and bidding wars with multiple offers. Now, looking back at April's numbers, another interesting scenario is unfolding. Throughout the month of April, there were only 383 new listings. However, the total listings at the end of the month was 580. That means there were almost 200 homes that did not turn over. Demand this past month lagged far behind supply. Looking at it from a different perspective, I compared total sales for March and April to see if there was a drop-off. March saw 396 sales compared to a total of only 290 sales in April. This represents a 37% drop month over month. Rather than stop there, I decided to dig a little deeper and look at pandemic versus pre-pandemic numbers for April. In 2020, April sales totaled only 159. Not surprising at all, but not a number that can be used as a benchmark, seeing as we were just entering a pandemic. April 2021 total sales were 562, as the pandemic fueled panic buying from people trying to enter the real estate market. Pre-pandemic sale figures for April 2019 were, however, 280, almost the same as this past month. Could we be returning to normal? So what do these numbers tell us? If the market was in a free fall, as some people would suggest, then sales would be non-existent or well below normal. Instead, consumers are being more careful with their money and taking external factors such as interest rate increases and potentially declining values into account during the buying process. Figures show that sales are still happening. Pricing your home correctly is the single most important factor to consider when you're selling your home. When you want top dollar, it is best to have the right price the day your house goes onto the market. When you offer your home at its true market value, you're giving yourself the best chance to get a great price for your home in a reasonable amount of time. In a cooler market, one that has fewer buyers, the home will remain for sale until the price moves low enough to attract a buyer. That means the seller is sitting idle when a home is listed above the range of fair market value. You can always drop your price at a later time. However, this can sometimes be a matter of doing too little, too late. Bottom line, if you price your home right, then you stand to get a better chance of selling compared to if you aim too high. That's all today, folks. And don't forget, if someone you know or you are looking for any real estate help in the future, please don't hesitate to call. I'm never too busy for your referrals. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to sports. It's Josh here with you once again, as always. I mean, except for that 1 week I was sick and Barris had to fill in. But other than that, as always, we're here with sports, and let's just jump right into it. Beginning with Chilliwack FC. In the wake of the sudden departure of longtime top coach Glenn Wilson, Chilliwack FC has announced that the University of Calgary's Troy Flannery will be joining the club as their new technical director. Troy was named the 2018 Canada West and U Sports Coach of the Year and has been the coach of the U of C Dinos, the women's soccer team there, since 2013. The FC press release states that, quote, Flannery is a Canada Soccer National A license certified coach with over 15 years of leadership experience and a proven track record of success building player pathways at the grassroots and performance levels. Flannery will join the club and have to jump right in to an already in progress spring season that includes the brand new adaptive soccer program, so he will definitely have to hit the ground running. The Calgary Stampeders. In the CFL, why are we talking about them? Well, we'll get to that. They have a long history of drafting and developing top Canadian offensive lineman talent, and Jacob Butler hopes to be the next success story. The Starter secondary grad was picked 34th overall, very impressive, in the Canadian Football League National Draft, which was held on May the 3rd. The offensive lineman called that moment truly a dream come true. The Chilliwack product is graduating from Queen's University, where he studied engineering and spent 4 seasons with the Golden Gales football program. Studying engineering and doing football at the same time, not an easy thing to do. Engineering is an intense program, so congrats to him. That is a huge, huge deal. The Chilliwack Chiefs wrapped up their end-of-year awards for the 2021-2022 season, with the team MVP honors going to Keenan Draper. Head coach and GM Brian Maloney said of Draper, quote, Keenan did it all for our team this season. He pulled our team into the fight with his willingness in all areas and always seemed to step up with a big play to get us going at just the right time. Draper is committed to the famed University of Michigan Wolverines for NCAA hockey next year, where he will hope to join an esteemed list of NHLers to come out of the program, including the Vegas Golden Knights forward Max Pacioretty, Vancouver Canucks defenseman Quinn Hughes, and one of my childhood favorite players, Brendan Morrison of the West Coast Express line. That 2003-2004 team, that team was so good. If they had had a goalie, they would have gone to the Cup. So anyways, congrats to him. University of Michigan is an incredible hockey program. The Canada West Sports Information and Digital Awards for 2021-2022 have been announced, and UFV Communications Coordinator Dan Kinvig was a big winner. He and his team won Photo and Feature Story of the Year for a story they did about a dad and daughter and their basketball connection to the Cascades program. So head to the Cascades website for the story. It's a really, really great read. The Chilliwack Ringette Association will hold another Come Try Ringette event this Saturday, in a few Saturdays on May the 28th. The event is for all players over the age of 5, and it's at the Starter Sports Complex. You can head to the association Facebook page. They've got all the details there for you. Finally, last weekend was supposed to be the opening weekend and the kickoff of Agassiz Speedway's 50th anniversary, but rain kind of ruined that one. So this Saturday, weather permitting, it's Ladies' Night at the Agassiz Speedway with a special trophy dash for all the female drivers. And all ladies over the age of 19 are admitted for free. So fingers crossed that event is able to go ahead. And fingers crossed for another event that I want to point out. I'm just throwing this one in because I'm playing in it. It's the Southern Irrigational Rosedale Open for the benefit of the Chilliwack Salvation Army. Many of you know that I work for the Chilliwack Salvation Army as the volunteer coordinator. So I'm somehow playing in this tournament. Fingers crossed it doesn't rain, but regardless, they have already raised over $100,000 for the Chilliwack Salvation Army, which is unbelievable. So thank you so much to Southern Irrigation and all the sponsors and players who are supporting the event. We'll see you on Friday at the Falls. I'm going to lose a lot of golf balls. I am rusty. Anyways, that's all we've got for sports today. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Now here's Don with the weather.
chillTV weather, it is a mild and wet weekend with showers in the high near 17. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. I'm Don Lehn.